What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Business Temple. Happy weekend. Thank you for being consistent with us. I am Super Alex, co-host here at the Business Temple. What's up, Super Ray?
What's up, Super Alex? I am also here, Super Ray, ready for today. And I can't wait to do this episode. It is our 50th episode, aka our 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
Woo! I
let's
can't
go.
wait. I'm so excited. It's been quite the journey, Super Alex, my super friend. You are just, uh, uh, I'll just start it off, bro.
Get
I
it.
love doing this with you, and I enjoy coming to the Business Temple every single week and sharing my love of philosophy and business, and you also sharing that same passionate love of business and philosophy here at the Business Temple. Learning and growing so much with you has been one of the greatest pleasures I've had this entire year. And now that we're doing our 1 year anniversary, you know what I think? It happened so fast. We're already here.
Time did fly. Time did fly. And man, bro, I could say the exact same things about you, how grateful I am for you as our co-host and the show. It has transformed me obviously into a better person, but more importantly, what I really appreciate in this is the consistency and the accountability partner that I gained
Mhm.
along the way. TBT, the Business Temple, what I really look forward to this show weekly is just learning, because these we are tackling topics here that we're not super totally familiar with.
Mhm.
You
That
know,
is right.
especially when it comes to philosophy. I have never tried mixing philosophy with business. I might have tried unconsciously, but now really putting it at the forefront of my business and what I do, it's been good, man. It's been
Yeah,
real good.
for me, it's been more so giving me a better understanding of not only myself but my business, and it just helps so many people as well. And I'm so happy that we're doing this and sharing it with the world. This show has evolved in so many different places and stages. In 1 year that
Yes.
we've been doing this together, this show has gone from just being a small thing on Clubhouse where we were
Hmm.
just like, hey, let's just try this out. Let's just throw a few things together. Let's see what happens. And that's been our philosophy and our whole thing. Because you know what
Yeah.
I noticed with a lot of people that do podcasts, or they start doing videos online, they just get bored of it. They see it as work. They don't want to spend the time doing it because it's just no longer fun. And every time I come here, you make it so fun. I try to
I
make it
got you, man.
as fun as possible and make it into a party in a show, and also an educational piece, because that's what life's all about. Life is about learning, growing, and being happy and having fun along the way.
Boom. Fun, family, and laughter here at the
Hell yeah.
Business Temple. Let's go, man. But
Woo!
I do believe that is what separates us from a lot of shows. We like to make it a party over here. Because, I mean, you and I, we like to party, right? And we're going to
With
give
the
y'all a
music.
lot more behind the scenes stuff. But yes, we do like to make it a party over here. And that's exactly what we're about to do. This is no different from any other Saturday. We're going to hype y'all up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Super Ray and Super Alex in the house, on the set.
Hell
Welcome
yeah.
to the Business Temple. Please follow and subscribe to us on YouTube. You might have previously heard we have been on Clubhouse. You want to listen to our other episodes there. We have a lot of content there. But now, of course, we're over here on YouTube. So please follow and subscribe here on our channel. We are consistent every single Saturday, 9 a.m. PT, 12 p.m. ET. There's a lot to learn here at the Business Temple, and learn with us. Stay consistent with
Yeah.
us. Let's do it.
Awesome. Woo!
You ready?
Wow. I'm so ready. How do we even start? Where do we even start? Like, it's been a year, my friend. It's been a year.
Yes, it has.
I am so humbled and just excited for the rest of the future, but being in the present moment where we are right now today, it being our business's birthday, the Business Temple's birthday, it's
I love that.
just a great thing. It's just a great feeling. I woke up this morning super excited, just ready to go,
Same.
and just like reminiscing on some of the things that we've said, we have done, and have created together in the Business Temple. And I have a lot of just wow moments, and I rarely just
Hmm.
have these moments where I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. Like, is that really what was said in that show? Was that really what we were talking about? Having that
Yeah.
conversation and then just listening to us speak is just great. I think we've evolved so much from where we were to where we are now, but we still kept that same beat. We still kept that same rhythm, that same,
Same momentum,
yeah,
man.
and the momentum too. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like we have not missed a beat. We have
Nope.
not missed a beat. So
Mhm.
just having realized that, it's just, yes, you're right. It went by fast. Time did fly. But then, holy crap, we just did a whole year of podcasting. And that, the way we talk about it might sound like we make it sound easy, but there's a lot of stuff going through, where we're going through behind the scenes. Like,
Mhm.
for example, really finding the direction of our show. I feel like that's a one pivotal moment in the business temple. Could I even be like a little story arc to it as well? When Ray and I started, the way, well, at least our philosophy as friends is that we always take action. It's
Mhm.
action, action, action. We'll plan a little bit, but it's 90% just
Ninety
action, and
percent
then
action, 10%.
adapt from there. Then
Yeah.
we'll kind of like go from there, which is exactly what we did at the business temple. That which wasn't all bad, but what I really like and have grown to respect a lot from our show is the way we were able to kind of like adjust our aim
Yeah.
as we go, because we
Yeah.
experimented on a lot of things, man. We're still experimenting a little bit,
We
aren't
are.
we?
We are. And that's the good thing about this. It's that no show, no business, no podcast, nothing ever starts at 100%. You learn along the way, and the the easier you'll have an easier time learning as you
Yeah,
go than just
yeah,
planning for it. Because the
yeah.
way I feel like if you continuously plan and spend so much time in that planning phase and just don't take any action, then you will get to a point where you say, hey, this isn't part of my plan, this is
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
supposed to happen. You're diverging away from that plan, and now you just don't know what to do, and you're scrambling your head, how do I figure out, how do I get back on track? When if you go in with, let's say, some direction, it's a philosophy that I picked up, and it's the ready fire aim. We get
That's
ready.
lesson number one.
That's number one, the ready fire aim. It's a great podcast episode that we have on Clubhouse too. We'll drop
Yep.
some hints on some of good ones that we love, uh, speaking later on. But that's the philosophy we adopted. That's the philosophy we're doing here, and this is why our shows are live, because there's no editing involved. We don't
Nope.
take this and start working on it right after, because at the end of the day, why why? We know what we want to say, we know we want to project to the world, we want to make sure that the feelings that we come across are just genuine and authentic, and it's nothing, no edits, no edit buttons in this show today and or ever. I don't think so. If we were
Nope.
to ever get really big, it will always be a live show. I don't think it will ever be an edited show.
Raw and unfiltered,
Yeah.
man. That's how it is. And I just want to share to everybody. I So that first lesson was absolutely great. I would say my second lesson would be that I'm so happy we didn't try to rush things, bro.
Mm,
You get where I'm coming from? Like, yeah,
yeah.
we did the ready fire aim, taking actions, but at the same time, we're not trying to be an overnight success, if that makes
True.
sense. Like, we don't have these metrics that are so egocentric. You know what I mean? Hey, I want to be on this top podcast chart. Hey, I want to have this amount of followers and this and that. But all that stuff may be good. It's not the drivers of this show,
Yeah.
really. What really drives the show, obviously, is the passion that Ray and I had for it, the consistency and respect that we have for each other, and the love that we have for our audience. Talking
Mhm.
about business and philosophy, because who the fuck talks about marrying philosophy and business? We have
Not
not
many.
heard anybody yet. And so we're working on this. This is our baby. But yeah, what I really respected about the show, and a lesson for me, is that, hey man, we don't need to rush things.
No, we don't need a fancy studio. We don't need uh, just the accolades that come with it. We don't need a pat on our backs, because guess
Yep,
what? When you're an
yep.
entrepreneur, there's nobody going to be like cheering you on. It's
Uh-huh.
all just you by yourself trying to work on this thing, this project that may or may not take off. If it does, that's great. But what really drives you should be inside, and it should come
Yep.
from inside first before you can show it to the world and display it. So I love the fact that honestly that we started in that format where we just
From the ground up.
from the ground up, where we just decided to do this one day, just took our shot and then found our
Mm-hmm.
directions, and then started saying, hey, well, let's decide on what our main theme is, what our main concept is. Marrying philosophy with business
Yep.
just was sitting right there.
Yep.
And we pivoted more so towards the middle, like towards our like 20th to 30th episode, I believe. We were just like,
That's a lot of episodes, man. But that's exactly what I'm saying, though. Like we're taking it slow, and we're really getting to know our content, which I thought was really, really important for us, and the way the show evolved.
yeah.
You know, and I would say that would be lesson number 3 out there as well. Whether you want to start a podcast or you want to start a business, you're an entrepreneur, really get to know your stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Get to know your product, get to know your audience, and get to know just get acquainted with the direction that you want to go. I know Ray mentioned earlier, yeah, we marry business and philosophy here, but it wasn't always like that.
No.
You know what I mean? What we did before was, hey, you know what? Yeah, ready, fire, aim. And then we just literally hopped on Clubhouse. I believe that was your suggestion,
Yes.
Super Ray.
Mhm.
And then just press the record button.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like,
Yeah.
that was the process. And then we set a time. I don't think we did weekends back then. I think it was like a Wednesday.
No, it was Wednesdays. We did Wednesday nights, and it's evolved because we had to adopt our schedules. Actually, it was Wednesday afternoons, then it became Wednesday nights, and then I think we settled on Saturday noon, and now it's Saturday. Saturday afternoon, and now it's Saturday at 12 Eastern.
Yeah.
So we switched about 4 times, but that's okay. I mean, that's what happens. This is how businesses work. You need to learn to adopt and work with each other's schedules, because our schedules, we're busy people. Don't get me wrong. Look, we have a lot going on in our lives. We have so many things, so many projects, so many things that we do. And yes, taking 30 minutes or an hour on a Saturday to do this with you. Look, you could be watching an episode that's 30 or 40 minutes. Wouldn't you want to watch something that's educational, that's something for you to learn? And if you are doing a podcast, you can't take that 20 to 30 minutes to do a podcast and then have that be more educational and then forfeit watching any shows that might come on Netflix or whatever it may be. To me, that's the way I think. Self-development comes first before anything else.
To me, and I would say this could be a lesson number 4 too. Like, it's easy for me to show up for the show because if it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just about to have a conversation with my best friend and everybody's listening. That's how I think of it. You know what I mean? I'm not like, hey, I gotta freaking, I gotta do this at 9 a.m. and I'm coming from a Friday. You know what I mean? It's not like that with me. It's hey, but know what? I'm about to see Super Ray and we're about to get it down.
The idea did actually come from them, because our conversations are so deep and so
you're right.
Philosophical, that when we were having these conversations, we were like, why don't we just do a show about it and just have those discussions online instead of just keeping all that juicy information to ourselves?
Exactly. Yeah, you are absolutely right. That was is one of the main drivers of the show, and yeah, man, just this looking back, there's just so many things that got us amped and hyped up for the show, that continue to get us amped and hyped up, especially this year, the way we're planning everything. Yeah, we're taking a little bit of the slow route, but hey, what's the rush? You know what I mean? Exactly. And you're right. We are busy people. Ray and I are businessmen. Ray is working with his company, Your Voice New York, on top of what he does corporate. I do the same thing, working on my company and working on a little bit of corporate stuff. And so making time for this show, to me has been a form of self-care.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Like when I take on this show on the weekends, when I walk away from the show, I feel absolutely great, man.
Yeah, I feel
like
energized.
Taking a happy pill.
Energized. I hit a dopamine right there. Yes.
Exactly.
And Alex, while we're reminiscing here, what was our first ever episode that we did?
We did an episode. So 1 year, it was Women's Month when we did our first episode. We did our first episode on Clubhouse, and it was on that theme, Women's Month. We talked about honoring her
Story.
story.
That's right.
So I believe we covered women entrepreneurs there,
Hmm.
and just visibility for more women entrepreneurs out there. And we also had a special guest from our Toastmasters Club who
Hmm.
came in. But yeah, 50 episodes, man. I
Yeah.
didn't even know we were on that amount.
Yeah, I actually was listening to that first episode today, and there's a lot of good stuff in there, including how like we we did this format and we used it in order to highlight women entrepreneurs and as well as speak about biases, and something that we elaborated more in other episodes, but what we really got into was at the core of the entire episode was talking about uh, like the differences between men and women, and how we as men could be champions as well as, to I don't know, bridge this gender pay gap and
Yeah.
do things like eliminate biases in the workplace. Like those are types of things that not many people are having conversations about, but should be having conversations about. And we even spoke about the whole thing of like behind every great man is a great woman, getting rid of
Yeah.
like outdated no quotes and stereotypes that
Yeah.
just don't play favors, because when it comes to women and men, especially in the workforce, when we're trying to build a business, we have to stand shoulder to shoulder. And it was like things like that that I was listening to. Was like, oh my god, wow, this is amazing. We need to do more of this.
We say
And
it how it
that
is,
just
man.
springboarded everything from episode 1 to episode right now, which is our 50th. Feels
Yes.
good. Feels good.
Absolutely, absolutely. And may this be the next lesson for y'all. Here at
Hmm.
the Business Temple, we're not afraid to take a stand.
Hmm.
You know, however controversial some of our opinions are. And we do have episodes. There are a few on Clubhouse. Ray, you might remember a few. Uh, but yeah, there are some controversial opinions in some episodes. But hey, we understand that we're not going to impress everybody. And we're not attempting to impress everybody. And so I believe that if you're going to start a podcast, if you're going to be an entrepreneur in a business, you got to stand firmly in on what your principles are, what you believe in, even if you're broadcasting live and you're open to criticism, you're open to all this back talk and all that stuff. But, that doesn't mean that you're going to turn tail and run. You stand for what you believe in.
And with that, I do want to caveat is that there are times where I've been just listening to you and you tell me your point of view, and then I shift a little bit in my way of thinking, but that's okay, because the thing is, when we speak about some of these topics, we come from a place of education where we first educate ourselves about that particular topic and then speak to it and try to come to a conclusion based on the research that we've done. And it's not just taking our opinions, though. It's not just being like, oh, I'm right in this, nobody else is right and I'm completely wrong. There have been moments where I've just come to some certain realizations that, hey, maybe this isn't the position that is the correct one, or maybe this isn't the only position that exists. There are other avenues to explore, and then we explore them. So that's what makes this show so amazing, and the combination that we bring to it is just great.
I gotta say, friggin' live, that I like the fact that we can disagree with each other
Yes. Hmm.
and still have the same amount of respect and love. You know what I mean? Nothing personal,
Nothing
and that's
personal.
just
Nothing personal.
super important to have as a co-host or a partner. If you're looking to start that show, and you're not going to want to do it solo, if that's the route you want to take. Find a partner that you can disagree with,
Hmm.
easily disagree with, and have respect for that person's opinion, and that person will in turn have respect for your opinion as well. But here at the Business Temple, so I don't think we've actually ever shared this, right? Didn't we?
Hmm.
The reasoning behind the title of the show is
Hmm.
that the it in ancient Greece, they have these huge temples where these orators would go and debate, talk about politics,
Hmm.
whatever, war and all that stuff. And here at the Business Temple, we want to bring that same kind of energy, but
Exactly.
around entrepreneurship and just being able to speak, to find your voice and talk about whatever, give your opinion, and then let's educate each other. Let's have a conversation about it.
That's what ancient
You know?
philosophers used to do. Either they created their own temples and spoke at those temples and taught philosophies like Stoicism, Epicureanism,
Yeah.
Epicureanism, so many great Greek philosophies. But we don't just explore the Greek philosophies. We also explore others. Other ancient philosophies, including going into the art of war,
Yes.
Chinese philosophy, Ho'oponopono, with Hawaiian philosophy of forgiveness, which is incredible. Like there's so many different philosophies all over the world, not just the Greek ones, but you're absolutely right. That's the kind of like the concept that we took. We took
Mm-hmm.
that ancient way of storytelling, honestly, storytelling, where
Yes.
we go
Yes.
on a soapbox and just tell the stories, and you have your cool segment, the story time segments, because
Story time.
that's how you convey messages, and that's how people used to convey messages all the time, through stories. And that's how we are doing it in here, the business temple. That's how you remember things too. If we build the story around, let's say, different concepts of different philosophies, the easier time you will have to remember them.
Boom. That's the next lesson right there. You got to share more stories, man.
We do.
Share more stories out there, everybody. It's just such a powerful thing. And so, if our audience out there, if y'all don't already know, Ray and I have massive backgrounds as public speakers. So hopping on the show was really such a compliment to that background. I actually have a little bit of experiencing with podcasting, as I do have a podcast with my wife that we do separately. But Ray, how do you feel? How did you feel getting into the groove of things? Like, oh, I'm a podcaster now. I have a podcast that I do every weekend and I got to prepare for. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You know,
where do you land on that?
the weirdest thing though was just saying that I'm a podcaster. It's kind of like when you meet people and you're saying things about, oh, what do you do like as a career? What do you do for fun? Or like
Mm-hmm.
common questions that come up when you meet new people. And I say, yeah, I do a podcast, and I do a podcast every
Badass.
Saturday. This is the Business Temple.
Uh-huh.
It might not be for everyone. I always caveat that,
I like that.
because it is for mostly for entrepreneurs and people that are just, I
We know
guess,
our
employees that
audience.
are just looking to find a new avenue, explore a different place of, let's say, not just the 9 to 5. Yes, dealing with the 9 to 5, but also looking to become entrepreneurs. Like this is our very niche specific audience.
And I'm happy that we are, and we're niching it down even more.
Yeah.
But with philosophy, not all entrepreneurs, especially me before I hopped on the Business Temple, was remotely interested in philosophy. So
What do you say?
a niche
Like,
under the niche.
what do you say when you meet people and
I say the same thing. Hey, I'm
Yeah.
I'm a podcaster. We got a podcast
Yeah.
called The Business Temple. I host it with my best friend. I call him Super
Yeah.
Ray. He's in New York, so we got a coast to coast thing going on. Oh man, I sell it pretty good, bro. Like, we got a coast to coast thing going on where we
Yeah.
talk about the marriage of philosophy and business. Man, did I get your attention yet? You got to hop on YouTube right now. Just listen to it. Think about our first episode, or let me know what you think about our first episode, and just go from there, man. I work as a sales guy, bro. Freaking, I'm always out there with
I need
this.
to pick up a little bit of that, because you know me. I'm very humbled. I'm very like,
Mhm.
yeah, I do this, I do that. I have this going on, but yeah, I need to get into that sales mode and just be like, look, give me your phone right now and press subscribe. That's you'll see.
You will not regret it. Check it out, man.
Let's try that for like a week. Just grab people's phone and just be like, look, this is what I do.
Subscribe, yeah.
Hit the subscribe
That's
button.
what I'm about to be doing once I move to New York, man. Just go to Times Square, talk to random people,
Yeah.
and hey, subscribe here, subscribe there.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you know what I mean? There's just so much potential.
I want to ask you, Alex, which of all the episodes, all the 50 episodes that we've done right now, which is your favorite? Or like top
That's
three?
a tough
favorite?
question,
Tell
bro.
me.
Okay, top three. There we go. Top
Mhm.
three. I would say number one would be the episode on neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, the episode on street philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, the episode on Ikigai. Those would be my
Yeah.
top three favorites. So particularly the ikigai part, because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but that's the episode where we found our niche.
I think so, yeah. And we found our groove because when we did that episode live, we did it
Mhm.
together, and that's when we were making more decisions.
Yeah,
Knock it for what you want to knock it. Working together in a setting where it's one on one, where you're actually there, it's a different type of energy than just doing it over Zoom or StreamYard online. It's a different
yeah,
type of energy that you feel. And I think once we were doing it live, we were just like, okay, we're figuring out kind of like what we wanted to do more or less. And that's what makes that episode special. And it holds the top spot for me because it's a philosophy that I follow, that I
yeah.
truly just love, and I think is one of those philosophies that you find and you just stick to. Like, same thing
You're
with
right.
people that discover, let's say, religion at a later life, or
Mhm.
think that this is it, this is what I've been looking for the my entire life, and ikigai is like one of those things for me. Uh, but for me, yeah, ikigai is up there, and then you're right, that's where we found our groove.
I really love that episode, man, because the conversation I believe we had after is
Mhm.
what made that episode really shine for me, because I feel like, hey, man, we got into this philosophy and we mix it with entrepreneurship. How do you feel about that? I have
Mhm.
never seen any other podcast do that as well. And so the ideas that sparked from that one episode, we obviously did not forecast, but it changed the entire course of of the show. You know what I mean? And so may that be the next lesson learned for everybody, that, hey, you know what, the more things you try, the more things you experiment on. You don't have to make a perfect product to get started with. You could have the minimal viable product, like what Ray and I had with that episode on Ikigai. And then from there, how much can you maximize the potential of that product, or how did we maximize the potential of that show by creating the purpose of the business temple, that, hey, you know what, we're going to talk specifically about marrying business and philosophy, and our audience is going to be specifically about entrepreneurs. So like I said earlier, it's a niche under a niche. You know what I mean? And just being the rulers of that niche makes me feel so freaking good, man.
Ah,
Like, hey, we're pioneers, we're OGs in this, and we are setting the standard. We are setting the tone, and so
mhm.
we're bringing it, man. We're
Yeah,
bringing it.
we're bringing it. We're bringing it. Ah, bro. Well, I'll list out my top three. I know, like, you have your top
Yeah.
three. My top three, yeah. Well, Ikigai number one. Number
Uh-huh.
two would be, well, BPE, of course. This time
BPE.
have energy. It's
That's
one of
right.
my favorite things to say whenever I go out, whenever I'm getting ready or try to hype myself up, is to say,
BPE.
hey, BPE, live that life where you're the main character of that story,
Love
where
that.
you try to
Love
just
that.
embody that energy, because the more that kind of energy you give out, that's attraction. And going to another episode we did with, like, the law of attraction, is that you want to attract the energy that you give
Yeah.
out. That was another great episode. But as far as top, ikigai, second BPE, and then my third, that this one I went back and forth with,
Uh-huh.
is either the stoicism or the Epicurean, and which is
Stoicism was really good.
crazy because they're both so different.
In contrast, yeah,
They're
definitely.
so different because, of course, as we know, Stoicism is being more self-centered, having that control of your emotions, not
Yep,
showing
yep.
much emotion. And Epicurean is quite the opposite of that. It's more
Showing
so
emotion.
showing emotion and having that connection with people. And then
Mhm.
I remember, and I wrote down some of the notes when I listened back to it, like the eight the eight notions, or the eight things about
Mhm.
Epicureans, like the don't fear God, don't worry about
Yeah.
death, don't fear pain, live simply. Uh, the things like, what was the other one? Be honest, and also, be honest with your friends and work, and then,
Work hard, party harder.
yeah, that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And then, like, trying to understand, like, when it's a good time to be Epicurean and when it's a good time to be Stoic. And I
That
think I
yeah,
like those.
that was a
those
good full
philosophies.
circle
Yeah.
with our episodes. Like we don't even fully realize sometimes that we're curating it in such a way that it would make sense if you as a whole if you watch multiple episodes.
Hmm.
Like what you just said with Stoicism and Epicureanism, like complete contrast of philosophies. But then if you listen to both and, with an open mind, obviously, you get to equip yourself with both and then use the knowledge that you need and let go of the rest.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm taking. I'm taking it how we're doing with philosophy and everything. There are philosophies here that we talked about that doesn't apply to me, but I would like to talk and learn about it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. And it's so weird because we balance ourselves out so well,
mm,
because there's a
yeah.
lot of things that I wasn't necessarily really good on or keen on, or understanding, and you coming from a position where you had your coaching business,
Mm-hmm.
you understand like anger, and you understand the workplace and that dynamic because of all this experience that you have in coaching, and that really shines through when we're doing these episodes. And it's
Oh,
really appreciated, all that input that you have, all that knowledge that you're sharing out here for free, by the way, guys.
back at you, my friend. We are dropping nuggets of wisdom here. You know what I mean? But that's what we do. We chose this and this podcast life so far, having a lot of fun, enjoying it. You know what I mean? But what question for you, Ray? Let's both answer this. What can our audience look forward to 2023? What are we going to bring to the table?
Well, what can our audience look forward to? They can look forward to, one, you moving to New York so we can do live
Yeah.
episodes. That's something to really look forward to. And two, to look forward to just more episodes, more things that we're gonna drop on YouTube. Just be patient with us. No, we have said in the past where we're gonna make sure that we upload some of the older episodes onto YouTube, and to make sure that we have all that created. I want us to be more, let's be more accountable with each other, and then just push things through, and then try to make this the best that we can, and make sure that we deliver the highest quality that we can in terms of showmanship and content.
Showmanship and content.
Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. No, I absolutely agree, man. Of course, over here at the Business Temple, we're always trying to upgrade, trying to
Yeah.
do the best we can, best foot forward, of course, for all of you and for us. And yeah, I especially agree with the showmanship.
Yeah.
I especially agree with the showmanship. I think what makes the two of us really shine here is that we're not afraid to entertain.
No, we're
We're
not.
not
Yeah.
afraid to, even if we look stupid. You know what I mean? We're entertainers.
Self-deprecating humor.
Dark humor.
Oh,
Oh man, don't get
oh,
me
the
started
humor.
on the funniest episodes of the show. We have not covered that yet. Let's go. Let's cover that a little bit. I gotta ask, funniest moments on the show.
Oh my God.
A
Yeah,
lot.
it was. Now that I'm thinking about it, now mentioning it, the humor part, we did the
Mhm.
episode of using humor and how to use humor in the workplace,
Yes, we did.
and that episode we cover on the types of humor, and trying to figure out what type
Humor
of
is appropriate.
humor is appropriate. And yes, I mean, I admittedly said, yeah, dark humor is a humor that I tend to be more, like, I guess, affluent to, and I just like
Uh-huh.
it because it's just the, I don't know, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. The self-deprecating type of dark humor is honestly some of the best comedy I've ever seen, and some of the best comedians that emulate that type of humor are the most humorous people that I know. Take a look, Chris Rock, for example. He just did
Chris
his
Rock.
special.
Hmm.
He just dropped his special on Netflix that I watched.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you have to watch it. It's called sustainable sustainable aggression. I don't know. I
Okay.
forgot the name of it. I'll look it up. But in his special, he did talk about the instance of Will Smith smacking him on the stage.
Hmm.
But he took
I'm
that
sure he covered
that
that.
pain and that anger and that just horrible situation, and turned it into something that is quite entertaining. It's
Yeah.
one of his best comedy specials he's ever done in his entire career. And this is a guy that's been doing comedy for 30 years. And you would think that sometimes comedians just use the same material. Now he's just refreshed himself, and this experience actually rejuvenizes his love for comedy, and you can see it in his material. So I'm sidetracking too much from this, but
No, you
that's
you
the type of
are.
humor I like. Chris Rock,
It's good.
Metro
That's a good
State.
lesson right there, man. There you go, Super Ray, man. Making humor profound. I'm not surprised how you can do that, because I mentioned self-deprecating humor, Chris Rock's humor, and all that stuff. He created. He didn't complain. So I
Yes,
think that's the takeaway there. Create, don't complain.
that is true.
That's
It's
a
great.
huge takeaway there.
Selective outrage. That's the name of it. I just looked it up. Selective outrage. But yeah,
Oh, okay. There you
Alex,
go.
tell us one of your funny moments.
So a lot of things that make me laugh about the Business Temple actually comes from my co-host. This fucker can be pretty silly sometimes, and he wouldn't even. Oh man! So this is our niche, a niche over a niche over a niche, right? So we got the podcast, entrepreneurship, philosophy, but we also have the niche of dark humor. We're not always gonna.
Dead babies.
When Ray starts dropping lines about dead babies and all that shit, I'm like, obviously it's not for everybody, but every time you do, I'm torn because like we're live on the show,
Mhm.
and am I gonna react like a happy fucking idiot and laugh with you, or am I gonna be like, oh shit, did you just drop dead babies live on the show? You know what I mean? Like I'm in this gray zone where but obviously Ray and I think one of the reasons why we get along so well and we have that synergy chemistry on the show is that we laugh at the same things. We have the same humor. And not only that, it's just that the flow, man. You know what I mean? My co-host makes me laugh. And I think some of the stories, I've I've shared a few things that I don't normally share in
Oh,
person here in the Business Temple. I
yeah.
don't regret it, but I do find that a little funny. You know what I mean? So it's kind of been like a journal for me as well to share here at the Business Temple. So yeah, I try to make it profound too, Ray.
I would say
Like,
some of my favorite moments with you is like the stories you share. I think you share some of
mhm,
the most like the best stories, and you have more of that touch. I think I'm more like New York, very cut and dry. I'm to the
mhm,
point,
mhm,
and I had to learn how to be a better storyteller, as
mhm.
opposed to like you are just natural at it. You can tell a story and then capture that audience and make it profound. That it's captivating, and I think that's what a lot of people tune in for. They want to have business and philosophy and have that personalized, and you bring the personality into the show.
I
I
think
think
that's
everybody's
super
happy for
important.
you telling all those stories and sharing.
Thanks, brother. But
Mhm.
you talking about showmanship, I think that's absolutely important for the show because it's a pretty, I would say, philosophy and entrepreneurship. I would say it's a pretty serious, pretty dry topic. You know what I mean? And not having that, like you said, that personality, not just for me, but bro, you got it too, man. And
Try,
when
try.
we bring it together,
Yeah.
it's on.
It's how
It's
we
on.
spoke about how Dominicans and Filipinos are the same
We're
people.
practically cousins, bro. So you know what? Like when I realized that how much I have in common with this person because I didn't
Yeah.
realize it too much before. I obviously had not met a lot of Dominicans in my life, but then when I met you, I was like, hey, you're just like me. You drink a lot, you celebrate a lot, you like to sing and dance, you like to hang out. You know what I mean? That's what Filipinos do too. So like,
Yeah.
hey,
We
you
just
know
like
what?
having fun. We're here. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
Exactly. The only thing that's missing, in my honest opinion, I feel like if the Business Temple was an evening show, we'd do this with drinks. But hence,
Hey,
it is 9
that's an
a.m.
idea.
here in
Hey,
California.
hey, that's an idea. Business Central after hours.
Oh, wait, let's think about that. But I was
Yeah.
just thinking, man, I feel like we could use this show when you listen to it. I feel like you'll have a drink. You'll be holding a drink in your hand. You know what I mean? That's just how I think about it.
We
But
want you to
yeah,
remember them, but you could have a drink. I think we could probably end it here. We've been going
yeah.
on for
Do it.
40 minutes.
Yes,
We're
we
going
can.
we're going as long as we did in our previous when we first started because our shows would go on for an hour and now we
It
cut
did.
it down to 30 minutes and I think we found the sweet spot. That also is a thing that we started messing around with like how long should our shows be? Should they be an
Mhm.
hour long? Nobody's going to listen to people that they barely know talk for an hour. So we started cutting it down, making it more precision, making it bringing more value in a shorter period of time. Because I mean, people's attention spans have dwindled over the years, as they say. People's
Yes,
attentions
sir.
are like a goldfish, and if anything, is probably diminished even more as the years gone on. Given that we are so in line with that self gratification, that instant gratification. Sorry, instant, not self gratification. So that's a different thing, but
Okay.
instant gratification. That our attention span has dwindled. But yeah, another 40-minute episodes are going on. So you
There
know, we
you
last
go.
40 minutes, but it's been
We
great,
did.
brother. Happy
Absolutely.
birthday! Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Super
Business
Alex.
Temple.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you, Super Ray. Thank you. Much love to our audience,
Yes.
our followers, subscribers, our future followers and subscribers. Thank you for
Business
tuning in with
Temple.
us. We're gonna hype you all one more time before we go. But yes, please follow us over here at the Business Temple, where we are consistent. Super Ray, Super Alex, talking about the marriage of philosophy and entrepreneurship every single Saturday, 9 a.m. PT, 12 p.m. ET. Let's go. Any last words for them, Super?
Oh. You said it all, brother. Happy birthday, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
All right. Peace.